in this video, we are going to do the same thing, that is count the distinct elements or count the distinct elements in the particular array, but we are going to do a little bit things a little bit differently. We are going to use the concept of sorting. Now, as all of us know, to sort the array, again, if you take the best out of those, so you'll be going ahead with the quick sort, or in the case you'll be going ahead with the merge sort. There are inbuilt functions that we are going to use to do this. If you want to do it on your own also, you can do this, but inbuilt functions in most of these companies would be allowed, and you can go ahead and use them, right? And in the case of interviews also, you can use them, because they are not looking, if they wanted to understand how you will be sorting the array, they would have asked you quick sort, merge sort, and all of these, right? But they are asking you to count distinct elements in the array, so they're looking for a different kind of an approach. So sort the array would be O of n prime, and then traverse the array to count distinct would be O of n. So the time complexity of this would be O of n log n plus O of n. So it would be, if we take the higher order, so it would be O of n log n, the time complexity. So the basic approach that we are going to follow in this case is you sort the array. So now the array would look like this, right? Now what do we do is, again we are doing the same thing, that we are incrementing the count at the last occurrence of wherever we are, at the last occurrence of, how do I tell you, at the last occurrence of the element. So let me explain you how this would be working in this case. So for example, now this was the earlier array which had 5, 8, 5, 7, 8. Now you sorted the array by using arr.sort method in different languages. Again, since this is a pseudocode that I've written in your, and all the people from all the languages will be able to understand this. There's no issue about it, right? So manual sorting in the case of C, merge sort or quick sort. In the case of C++, you can use sort arr of sort arr plus 1, a direct function. Again, you would have to use bit C++. In the case of Java, you would use arrays.sort method, and in the case of Python, you are going to use arr.sort. Apart from that, in fact, the whole function would remain the same, and just in the case of Python, this would change a little. And then again, these values, again, semicolons will not be there. So now, what I'm going to do is that I check this element, and I see that if this element and its next element are same, I'm not going to increase the count. Let me explain you again. I am currently in the iteration of this element. I check the I plus 1 element. If I element and I plus plus element are same, I'm not going to increase the count. No. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to move to the next iteration. Then let's say when I'm here, I'm going to check if this value and the next value are same, I'm not going to increase the count. However, if they are different, then I'm going to increase the count, because so I want to count the last occurrence of any particular elements, and obviously the array would be sorted in ascending order, right? So if there is 5, 5 and 5, so I want to and then 7, 7, 8, 9. So I don't want to count the value of 5 here. I don't want to count the value of 5 here. I want to count the value of 5 here. Similarly for 7, I don't want to count for value for 7 here. I want to count here. How can I count here is, why? Because let's say if this is the last element or the last occurrence of 7, so the next element is going to be a higher value or a different value, right? So which is why if I am at here, that is I, the I plus 1 element would be larger, or basically we'll say would be not equal, right? So basically when I'm here, I'd be moving here, I'd be checking with the I plus 1 element, which is not same arr of I, and I plus 1 is not same, so I'm going to increase do count plus plus. I'll show you the code, I'll explain you the code a little later. Then again, I would be moving to the next iteration. I check here and here, the value are same, so I'll not do anything. I'll just move to the next iteration. Then I would be here. I would be seeing that, okay, this and this element is different, so I would be increasing my count, right? And then finally, at the last element, I can't check for the next one, because obviously the next one doesn't exist. So in the last element, I'm just going to increase the count. Simply. Why? Because let's say, let me give you a scenario. So let's say 5, 5, 7, 7, and then 8, 8, 8. So you'll increase the count for 5 here, you'll increase the count for 7 here, but for 8, you will be increasing at the very end. So the last element obviously you need to count in any of the scenarios. So even if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will be counting the last element. Correct? So basically that, right? So first of all, we are going to use the array.sort, which would make this array look like this. Then we are going to use count is equals to 0. So this is basically n log n. Right? Then we are going to initialize our count value as 0. Right? So the outer for loop and then the inner while loop work in the conjunction of one another. They're actually nested in the code, but not in terms of logical order. Right? So for I is equals to 0, I am coming here. And then I'm checking while I is less than n minus 1. So basically I'm saying that stop here. Why? Because I would be comparing I plus 1 element. Right? Or basically stop here because I would be comparing the I plus 1 element here. You can also say it this way. So you will not be comparing this and this. So which is why one more, ideally you would have run the loop till here, but in this case I'm going to run the loop here. And then the last one I'm just going to assume that, you know, as you can see, the last one I'm just going to assume that, okay, this is counted. Right? So as you can see here, the for loop is working. So I'm currently here and then the while loop starts. Now while loop says is if ARR of I is equals to ARR of I plus 1. So in this case, if this value is equal to this value, then don't do anything, just do I plus plus. So generally this for loop would have incremented the value, but we are using this while loop to increment the value. Right? So the while loop is implementing for the first time, but we are basically, even without coming back, we are able to increase the I plus plus value. So again, since this element and this element is the same, it's saying I plus plus and go back and implement this while loop again. Right? So then again the next time we'll be checking for this and this. In this case, obviously this will not get satisfied because this I value and this value are different. So what would happen? It will come out of this while loop. So you are only coming out of the while loop if the current value and the next value are dissimilar. And as soon as you come out of the while loop, so you'll be in count, you'll be doing count plus plus. So let's say if the array was like 5, 5, 5, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you would have had been stuck in the while loop starting from here till here. In the while loop itself, you would have had been stuck here because this condition would have gotten satisfied. And finally from here and here, this would get unsatisfied. So which is why here for the first time, you will be increasing the count plus plus because you will just come out of this while loop and then count plus plus. Right, so it's very simple. I don't think that there should be any confusion. This is very simple code. You should be able to understand. If you're not able to understand, look at the code you would. So thank you so much. In the next video, we'll be talking about, you know, how do you improve it further in the case using hashing. But you should also know this because interview would be, you know, asking you this optimization rather than hashing because you look at the code and you'll see the interviewer will not. So let me just show you the code. This is the code. The interview is like, okay, everything is happening automatically. How do I judge are you a good coder or not? You've learned the theory, but it does not tell you, do you know how to run code? Do you know how to think iteratively, recursively, logically? So thank you so much. I'll see you up in the next video and we'll understand this.